Well, this will probably be the shortest review we've ever done.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Oliver the Ricketts.
I am Brittany.
We're going to keep this brief, but we're going to go see the 2019 remake.
HELLBOY.
Yep, HELLBOY. And my heart is so full of sadness. I don't know why. Like, I like the first HELLBOY, and I'm in the minority of I actually think Golden Army is better, and I would put it in my top 10 comic book movies, actually. So it's really upsetting that they couldn't make a third one because they said there was no audience for HELLBOY, and then the same studio turned around and just made a HELLBOY movie without Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman.
You're not Ron.
You're not Ron. And it also doesn't help that this is being said to be one of the worst movies of the year, but I don't know, maybe they can do something cool with it. I like David Arbor, so we'll see. And the writer of the comic is a writer of the movie, so, maybe that'll work out.
I have very little to none expectations because I saw this movie once when I was, I don't even know, I saw the original HELLBOY like once when I was probably like 11 years old, and all I remember is that I was in the Hamptons at my stepmother's house, or my step-grandmother's house, and I was supposed to be trying to go to sleep, and it was on, and I just watched it, and I don't remember anything about it at all. So that is my feeling on HELLBOY. I'm going to go on record saying I didn't really want to see this movie at all, but I know Oliver really wants to see it, so
see, because the
this
thing
is called being in a relationship.
If I had to pay for it, I wouldn't have gone. And if it was doing well this week, I also wouldn't have gone because I wouldn't want to support it. But now that I know it's going to tank either way, it doesn't matter.
Gonna support it anyway.
And, well, it's not coming out of my pocket.
True.
It's AMC A-list.
Let's go see the movie, though.
All right.
Bye.
It is 11:27.
We were in the theater for a little over an hour.
And this is really bad.
It was a pile of dog shit.
I can count on my one hand how many movies I've walked out of in my whole life, and I see a lot of movies. I have a really high crap tolerance. Mm-hmm. Even if something's crappy, I'll, want to see it through. So the movies that I've walked out of are That's My Boy, Identity Thief, Darkest Hour, and now HELLBOY.
To be fair, I really enjoy That's My Boy, but this movie was just fucking awful.
Here's the thing. It was a bad idea in the first place to rip off Guillermo del Toro, so I maybe understand why you wouldn't want to do the same story.
Right.
But this isn't even HELLBOY, other than in title. It's really just David Arbor's HELLBOY.
And a very poor HELLBOY at that.
So we'll start with that. He doesn't work at all. Obviously HELLBOY's supposed to be like wisecracking, while he's fighting crime and, fun to watch. And if that was working, we would have been like, oh, what's he going to say next? This was really just like, I guess he was playing like a stonery kind of like, but it was just babble, just like screaming.
You very much got the feeling that like he just didn't give a shit. And like, I'm not saying that that's not like a character trait, I guess, of the original HELLBOY. I don't really know, but it just was very off-putting that it's just like our main character seems to have no motive.
Well, the real HELLBOY, that's one of his things. He doesn't give a shit. But then you add in things that he likes, like his dad and like Liz.
Right.
This first of all, Liz is not in this fucking movie.
And second of all, he acts like he hates his dad for the majority of what we saw.
That's the thing, because the real HELLBOY, you're supposed to get the idea that like he wants to make his dad proud of him, but he also doesn't want to do this whole thing of fighting the monsters. He wants to be a normal person.
Right.
You don't have any of that depth in this movie.
No, there's no depth in this movie, period.
Because HELLBOY's not a character in this movie. No. He's a special effect, and an ugly one at that. That's another big issue with this movie, is everything is really gross to look at.
Yeah.
And not in like a cool, like that's the style of that the movie's going for kind of way. It's just like, or if it is, fine, but it's just not nice to see.
Like the scene that put us over the edge that we walked out was he was in with this hag, I guess, that he had created, and she's trying to serve him dinner because she's trying to make a deal with him, and she's serving him soup, and there's small hands in the soup, and he realizes that it's children. So not only do you see the small hands, think to yourself, oh, those look like kid hands, she's a hag, she probably eats children. Then he asks her, are those children's hands? And she says, only human children. And then the next scene cuts to a door opening behind him, and you see hanging children.
Like meat.
Which, I mean, to me, like, there's just certain things I think that you don't show in movies, and that is one of them. And I think that was really just in very, very poor taste, and it just was, ugh.
For a fucking Hellboy movie, the last Hellboy movie was fucking PG-13.
Yeah.
What the fuck? The cartoon is drawn with 2 pens and a red marker. And the thing is, it's fine. You want to say that that's Hellboy, fine. It's not. But if that's what you want to say it is, then that's the property. Whatever. But at least be consistent and do that throughout, because that also comes way out of left field. Because at other times, it's like you're watching fucking Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
And he's like wrestling with like the luchadors. It couldn't fucking make up its mind on whether or not it wanted to be way out of this world disturbing or funny. And on top of that, when it's trying to be funny, it's failing miserably because it won't tell a joke.
Yeah, I just think that, and a lot of the jokes just didn't land, and it almost felt like it was just bad editing, like, for the most part, in a lot of scenes. There are full scenes that happen in which Hellboy is supposed to be talking to and interacting with the other people in the scene, and you just know that it was just shot, just him.
Right.
Reacting, and that nobody else was actually there in the room with him. And it was just, like, so, like, just odd to watch.
Honestly, the editing in this movie reminded me mostly of like Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman. Which both of those movies, is going to sound weird, like both those movies were movies I thought, was I falling asleep like in the middle? Why is this not holding together? There's just no thread connecting the shots in this movie at all. There's no continuity between where the characters are standing. That pisses me off so much.
And we only made it about an hour.
I knew we were in trouble when the first shot of the movie was a crow taking a dead body's eye out. And if that's not enough, you know, because, all right, you're going to be one of these movies that's obnoxiously violent because you're rated R, which is something that really bothers me. There was no reason for this to do this other than that they got an R rating, which is what Del Toro wanted. But you know that Del Toro would have actually done something with it that had to do with the story.
Well, hopefully this tanks so bad that they don't make another one, and, you know, maybe somewhere down the line they will make another one with Ron Perlman. Maybe they'll go back to that formula. Who knows? I don't know, but this was so bad.
At least something closer. And, like, even if that crow taking the eye out wasn't enough, the first line of the movie is, how did we get into all this fucking stuff?
Yeah.
Word for word. You already know it's, number one, not going to be smart.
No.
And number two, it's like, at one point they're trying to describe something that's yellow, and they go, oh, it's the color of piss. And then fucking Hellboy, like, I keep going back to it, but he's not a character at all, and the only reason you know anything about what he's doing is because you have background from knowing the character from other things. You know what I mean? They never stop to explain to you what it is that he does. Fucking stupid. I know this is one of the most unorganized reviews that we've done ever.
Well, it's also hard to fully review it because we didn't watch the whole movie.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happens. I can probably surmise that it does not get any better, and that the ending is some sort of convoluted...
Unless Ron Perlman is going to walk out at the end of this fucking movie.
Oh, I was told there was an after credit.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
I mean, unless short of this movie being a prank.
It's a prank, guys.
And I love Hellboy. I'm a really big fan of the character. I own so many fucking Hellboy comics. I'm gonna rate it. I think everybody knows I'm gonna fucking give it.
It is an F.
It's an F-.
Oh, shit. Well, look out for the worst of 2019.